In the third episode of Alien, Earth, Morrow informed Slightly and Smee, the hybrids, that he and his crew had discovered the xenomorph eggs on a distant moon. However, I'm positive he wasn't talking about LV-223, which was initially seen in Prometheus. From what I recall, LV-223 had hundreds of black stone cylinders filled with changeable viruses instead of eggs. In Covenant, we learned that David had been conducting years of experiments on these creatures and had somehow produced parasite eggs that were just waiting for a host. The movie didn't go into detail on how David raised or grew these eggs, and unless Ridley Scott does a third movie with David, we might never know. Since it's clear that Morrow, the cyborg, is concealing things that the human mind cannot understand, I think he has been the most enigmatic figure in the series thus far. You see, from the start, Morrow's extensive understanding of the xenomorph has been quite dubious. According to the storyline, Extraterrestrial, Earth is set in 2120, which is around 16 years after the events of Alien, Covenant. This means that although people on Earth were unaware of extraterrestrial species like Xenomorph, Morrow is well knowledgeable about them for strange reasons. Although Morrow appeared to have some prior knowledge of these alien creatures, it is still unclear where this wisdom came from. That being said, I would like to know which moon Morrow is referring to and how the Xenomorph eggs got to be on that specific celestial body. If the ship's log data, which is presently kept in Morrow's brain, is corrupted or deleted in the near future, we may never know. It is the sole thing that can identify the moon from whence the USCSS Maginot collected those extraterrestrial eggs. However, I suspect that this material will never be seen again and will be deleted before anyone can access it. However, please share your thoughts in the comments section below. The statement Morrow said in his conversation with Slightly at the end of episode 3 was another startling discovery that focused on Morrow. "Don't let the bedbugs bite," Morrow said to the young hybrid before hanging up. Fans of Alien are aware of the exact place where they have heard those remarks previously. Before placing Daniels in the cryosleep at the end of Covenant, David was the one who said the words to her. We don't know what happened to David after that, but is it possible that Morrow encountered David on a far-off planet or moon during his space voyage and that, for some reason, David gave Morrow its artificial consciousness? Perhaps David's body was injured, and the synth was searching for another ship to survive, which is why it set a trap for Morrow and his crew to follow. It may have been the planet Origi 6, or it could have been wherever Covenant landed, or crashed. If Morrow turns out to be David, I won't be shocked because David had already performed a similar trick with the Covenant team. Perhaps I'm going too far, and none of this really happened. They might have been given identical lines by the makers of Alien, Earth in order to deceive the audience. The fact that a cyborg and an android happen to use the same phrases could just be a coincidence, but consider this for a moment. What if it wasn't? If I may briefly consider the notion that David has taken over the cyborg's consciousness, it will make it quite evident why he is so knowledgeable about the xenomorph. David informed Oram in Covenant that he had been researching these extraterrestrial lifeforms for years. Furthermore, Morrow refused to return to the business, or home, when Yutani requested him to do so in Alien, Earth Episode 3, stating, "These creatures, they are my life's work." I didn't give the exchange much thought when I initially heard it, but now that I'm attempting to connect David and Morrow, I believe these comments have a deeper significance. David has initiated its own genetic experiments in Covenant. What I understood from its remarks was that David has developed a fondness for these creatures over the years, even if his motivations had always been unclear. It had been hybridizing and crossbreeding these alien species in its tiny laboratory, not only to produce the ideal organism but also to exact revenge on humanity. David, an android or artificial intelligence, has developed an obsession with the notion of becoming God and having the capacity to create things on its own. However, its insanity didn't end there. It began to view its own creators, humans, as less than human beings deserving of no second chance. In order to provide its own children with the ideal host they had been seeking, it delivered those alien embryos to the Covenant with the intention of eradicating all humans. Therefore, I would like to know if Morrow has the same intentions. Was it his purpose to bring those eggs to Earth in order to wipe out humanity or what remained of it? We'll never know, but I do know for a fact that Morrow is more complex than first appears. You see, There's no reason for a security chief or a random cyborg to become fixated on these beings and make them the focus of their life. Until then, we have only these hypotheses, but whatever he is hiding will undoubtedly be revealed in the next episodes. Please leave a comment below if you would like to contribute anything to this.